This is Chris Parkinson. He's 18 years old and is a freshman at Penn State. He's a generally athletic person playing multiple sports. He does not play a lot of golf, but is interested in the game. Chris generally catches the ball thin, which causes his ball flight to be lower than most, paired with his consistent push to the right. Chris really needs to focus on his angle of attack because right now he's just sweeping the ball off the surface of the ground. Here I'm showing Chris a drill where he can take the swing part by part, slower, breaking it down to help him work on his angle of attack. This will also help his centeredness of contact because he will be catching the ball more solid now. In the beginning, me and Chris will really focus on his weight shift. That's the base of all of his problems. If he can get the weight shifting in the right direction, he will really start catching the ball a lot better than he has in the past. Now in this part of the lesson, I'm going to try and introduce to him better ball position. We're going to move it a little further back in his stance, bring the hands a little more forward, and narrow his stance a little bit to give him a little more control. It's going to feel weird in the beginning, but once he gets the hang of it, it's going to help his swing immensely.
Chris, how would you describe that shot?
It was a bomb.
As you can see in the face-on view, Chris has really started to get the hang of the better ball position and hand position, and he's starting to catch the shots more purely as you saw in the shot before.
All right, a little narrower stance. Yep. Good ball position.
Thank you. Thanks, Coach.
Overall, I think this was a very beneficial experience for me as a teacher. It is good to give your first lesson to someone you are comfortable with instead of being under the gun with a member at your new club. It will help me develop my skills as a teacher and give me great tips on how to better approach lessons in the future. As far as things I did well as a teacher, I got to know the student well before we went out to the lesson tee. I did not overload the student with tips and advice on our first lesson. I gave him one or two pieces of advice for him to work on, and then after he got the hang of that, we would progress on to the next tip. However, one thing I think I would do better next time is come prepared with more teaching tools for the student, and more knowledge of how to help them. As a freshman in PGM, I can help them to a certain point, but in order to make them the best they can be, I need to learn more in depth about the swing. Most importantly, what I learned through this experience is that teaching the golf swing is a fun experience, where you get to teach another person and help them to try and enjoy the game as much as you do. When your student hits a good shot, doing all the things you told them, you just love to see that. I learned that teaching is a more refined skill that is difficult to pick up and be good at for the first time. It takes time to learn it, and that's what I plan to do as I progress through my career.